Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life. Are you ready to start living your life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Welcome, my friends, to the Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, my friends, and welcome to the seventh installment in this new series. Today we're going to pick up where we left off from last time with the sixth virtue, where I am just sharing some of my own personal experiences with these virtues as a way to offer a little more insight into them and hope that they're able to be a little bit more friendly and easy to adapt into your own life and your own character. And as I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I embody all of these to the greatest degree. It comes and goes, but I do my best with it, and I strive to live my life according to these virtues and to allow them to guide me through life and shape the person that I want to be. All right, let's get into it. We got quite a bit to do today. Virtue number 6, benevolence. If we look at benevolence in the simple terms of the way two people should interact, which is quite an oversimplification, but it helps nonetheless, this is something that allows us to get a better grasp on what benevolence really is. This is something I only understood after the spiritual practices allowed me to open my heart. And trust me, my heart was closed down, boarded up, nailed shut. It was not good. It was kind of felt like it was shriveled up, a little like the Grinch, before he had the Christmas experience there. So, I became very jaded at a very young age. And it was only through the spiritual practices that I was able to learn how to open my heart again and to live in that sense of vulnerability. This then allowed me to experience true interactions with others, not ego to ego, but heart to heart. And whether the interaction lasts for 5 minutes or several days, when both people have open hearts, raised vibrations, and have set aside their ego, this is a true manner in which human beings should interact with one another. It shouldn't matter whether you know that person or if they're a complete stranger. We should treat everyone we encounter with a sense of benevolence. One evening after a late dinner, my wife and I were walking around an outdoor kind of shopping area here, and they were setting up for food trucks and a farmer's market the next day. And while we were standing there, we were watching them kind of put up the tents and things. A gentleman came up and stood next to me, very well dressed. Never saw him before in my life. I have no idea who he was. Even to this day, we never even exchanged names. But we stood there and we talked to each other for a moment about how great the farmer's market was and how nice the food trucks are and how fun it is that they allow them to come there and we get to enjoy them. And this interaction lasted for less than 5 minutes, but it was so incredible because he was so positive, his heart was open. I was in a wonderful place. My vibration was high. My heart was open. I was standing there with my beautiful wife, and all of us, all three of us, we were just in such a great place that we had a wonderful interaction with each other that just made that moment seem special. And then he went his way and we went our way. Never encountered him since. Little Ichigo Ichie. And we've had this sort of thing several times. Years ago, about 10 years ago, we were down in Peru and we were involved in an archaeological dig there. And on our last day on the dig site with this pyramid, we encountered one of the other people working there, a native Peruvian, and he had been working alongside us the entire time we were there. Just never said much to us. But before we left, he came over and introduced himself, and he asked what we did for a living, and we began to talk. And the open-hearted connection between him and my wife and myself was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, you know, there's just an incredible sense of openness, honesty, respect. It was a way people should treat each other. And this, too, provided us with yet another moment that we will never forget. We will never forget. It is not that difficult to treat each other well. It is not supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be the way we interact with one another. My wife and I do our best to engage everyone this way. And it can be challenging because a lot of times we are speaking from essence. Our heart is open. Our vibration is high. And unfortunately, so many speak from ego that we're in different dimensions. And it just doesn't work out that way. But when it does, you know it. And everyone walks away feeling so much better because you had that interaction. And we have made it our mission to do our best to interact with everyone we encounter this way and leave people feeling better because we were there, because we interacted with them. And it's not an ego thing. We're trying to do it for them. We want them to feel better. And in this way, we can even act in service of others through benevolence. And come on, is it even necessary for me to stress the nature of expansion in what I just described to you? It shouldn't be by now, right? Obviously, when we are connecting to others, we are reaching out, the energy is going out, our energy is connecting. We are deeply connected with people when this is happening. So benevolence allows us to do that. And of course, benevolence also includes a sense of strength. We still have to be strong in what we do, but it needs to be coupled with a sense of kindness and compassion. You can see the kindness and compassion in the interactions I just described. Sometimes those actions need to be something different, maybe protecting someone who can't protect themselves. Then you have to use your strength combined with kindness and compassion. When we interact with some people through helping them in some way, we have to be strong and hold a sense of real compassion, giving them what they need, not necessarily what they want. These are the ways in which we can act with benevolence. And remember that filter I talked about last time? You can apply it here. Again, before you speak, run it through the mental filter. Is what I'm about to say benevolent? Are my actions that I'm about to take benevolent? Make sure they are. If not, don't say it, don't do it. If they are, that's a good sign that what you are about to say and do is the right thing. Virtue number 7, courage. It is ego that causes us to live in fear. The more the mind is dominated by ego, the greater the sense of fear in which we live. Because of this fear, there's a lack of courage. Even though I had an ego problem as a teenager and young adult, I still had courage in many areas of my life. Well, looking back now, some of it may have been stupidity instead. That's very possible. However, in those years, in those earlier years, I've done things that took a lot of courage. Yet, I can't share some of those things, the exact examples publicly. But it's kind of interesting when I look back at just how much courage it took to do some of the things that I did. Some of them were because I wanted to, and other things were because I had to. However, it wasn't until I died the second time that I really understood what real courage was. To live authentically and with these virtues takes a great amount of courage. To face death takes courage. To consciously accept death takes even more courage. After you've done that, what is there to be afraid of? You know, it was hilarious because I was told when I was going in for emergency heart surgery, I was told that I was dying. And I appreciated their honesty. And even as I lay there on the table, prepped and ready to go, the anesthesiologist was in the room and the surgeon came in. We were talking and he put on country music, and I told him no, that wasn't going to go. He said, "Don't worry about it. You're going to be unconscious anyway." And I said, "Yeah, but it still gets in, and I just can't do country music. I'm sorry." And he said, "Well, that's what I work by." And I said, "Fine." I said, "But if you mess this up and I die, I'm going to kick your ass." Right? Not something you want to tell the guy that's about to do heart surgery on you. But I did, and I laughed. He knew I was joking. I was not serious at all. He knew that. He laughed, and then he said something about, "Yeah, that's big talk from somebody that's going to be unconscious in about 3 seconds now." And that was the last I heard. I could go into so many examples of times I've had to have courage. I mean, it takes a little courage when you have a loaded handgun shoved in the side of your head to calmly say and do the things you need to handle the situation. What I have come to realize is this: life takes courage, period. If we lack courage, we are not living, we're merely existing. Life takes courage. Living fully engaged takes even more courage. There's just no way around it. If you aren't engaging your life with a sense of courage, you simply are not living. Now, we can also apply that filter here, right? Is what I am about to say courageous? Is what I am about to do courageous? We can use this to better help guide ourselves. And again, it's very easy to see just how much more expansive we can be when we act with a sense of courage. We have the courage to go places, experience things. That's all expansion. When we live in fear, it's easy to see and feel that we are in a state of contraction. Now, I've mentioned something here, a term called Ichigo Ichie, and I would like to expand on that. We understand that the translation is very simply something like one encounter, one chance. And this serves as a reminder to always live in the state of mindfulness and expansion. So, Ichigo Ichie is not a virtue. It's not one of the 7 virtues per se, but I like to add this on to it because this is a wonderful way to live our life with this understanding of every experience, every moment being unique and never, ever, ever repeated. One of the worst unconscious mental habits human beings have is the notion that they have time. There's always tomorrow. This leads to hesitation, procrastination, and failure, instead of having the courage to dive in head first and actually doing it. So while this is not a virtue or one of the 7 virtues per se, We need to stop putting off the things we enjoy and even the things we have to do and do them. We need to do them fully. Ichigo Ichie is an aspect of living fully engaged. We need to stop being afraid of life and get out there right here, right now, and start living. Look at every single moment we have as unique, as a gift. And we can understand that living life through seeing each and every moment as something fleeting that will never be repeated, having one chance, one opportunity with that encounter that will never be repeated. It's a bit of a more positive message than the other message we hear where it is live every moment as if it were your last. They're basically the same type of idea, but this gives us a little greater insight and allows us to center more upon the moment and to be mindful and conscious within that moment. So instead of thinking of every encounter, every interaction as your last, look at it as the one and only chance that you have to experience that. Embrace every moment in the ever unfolding, expanding moment. Be there fully. Make each and every moment a mindful one with complete consciousness. Give whatever you want to do your undivided attention. Do it with your full mental focus and your whole heart. This will lead to success in all you do. The year of the tiger is the perfect time to apply this idea. Don't allow your mind to be lazy. Don't allow yourself to fall into a sense of complacency or not caring. Holding on to this notion will help strengthen your mind. And when we look at every moment as a unique experience that will never, ever be repeated, the way we look at life changes dramatically. You know, my wonderful wife and I view life and our relationship in this manner, treasuring each and every moment we have together, everything we get to share together, with a deep sense of knowing that everything we do and everything we say will never be repeated in that same way again. And when you are truly in love, this is a very, very powerful thing. Instead of allowing the mind, the ego, to cause you to live in the past, remain in the present, because that's where the magic happens. This is another reason why developing a state of mindfulness and consciousness is so important, so that you can stay consciously aware and mindful in every single moment with everything you do. And then every single thing you do has this sort of magic to it. It seems special because it is. It's unique. It's never going to be repeated like this again. You're never the same people in the same place at the same time, saying the same things, doing the same things. Everything is always different. You can try and reenact it, but it's not the same. So when you are mindful and consciously aware of everything that's going on in every moment like that, it is magical. Because you are so in tune to one another and to everything. You are really plugged in. And you are aware deep in your consciousness of just how special every fleeting moment actually is. It is there in that space that you experience living a fully engaged life. It is there you are living in a state of expansion. I hope you are able to take these 7 virtues and the bonus of Ichigo Ichie and apply them to who you are and how you live. And I hope that it provides you with an opportunity to have a much better life, to live fully engaged. In so doing, you allow me to serve my purpose by serving you. Please make sure and visit me at www.expansionmastery.com. Get your autographed copy of Expansion Mastery there. Check out all the other stuff that's there. There'll be more stuff on the website coming soon. And as usual, help us with social media. The important thing is to share these podcasts. Make sure that you are subscribing, liking, doing all the social media stuff that we do. And as usual, my friends, I wish you the very best in your practices and, of course, your life. Take care.